Gregory Bald sits at an elevation of 4,949 feet above sea level and rises 3,100 feet above Cades Cove and the surrounding valleys. Reaching the summit of Gregory Bald requires a strenuous hike, but anyone willing to put forth the effort in mid to late June will be rewarded with countless numbers of flame azaleas blooming on the 10-acre grassy summit. These azaleas come in many varied colors such as red, orange, salmon, yellow, white, pink, and even some that are multicolored. The Bald sits astride the North Carolina-Tennessee border, being in both Swain County, North Carolina, and Blount County, Tennessee. While there are 3 trails that can take you to the summit, we went up via the Gregory Ridge Trail until it intersects the Gregory Bald Trail for a round-trip hike of 11 miles. Go with us as we embark on this strenuous but very rewarding hike. Well, good early Friday morning, folks. It's just before 6 o'clock a.m. We are here at the gate of Cades Cove waiting on the gate to open. We were actually hoping to be, we knew we were going to get here a little bit before it opened. We were hoping to be the first in line so we could go ahead and get to the trailhead this morning. We are doing the Gregory Bald hike. I've been telling y'all about that since last summer when we were here in Cades Cove. I pointed it out to you, told you that, Lord willing, we'd be hiking it. Well, today's the day. We did not make it first. We actually are the 6th in line, so that's still not bad as long as we don't have that one person who stops in the road and holds up traffic and everything. So, but anyway, we are going to be hiking Gregory Bald today. It's an 11.5-mile round trip hike. The forecast high at the summit is 63 degrees today, so should be a very pleasant day. It's usually a little windy, so 63 with some wind. Probably going to feel like it's in the 50s up there today. So we're going to work up a sweat getting up there though, so we're looking forward to it. It's a strenuous hike. I have not done this hike since 2016. It about killed me then, but I'm in better shape now than I was then. So I've done several hard hikes since then with a lot less difficulty. So we're not going to have difficulty coming down today, are we?
I hope not. I got me some better knee braces.
She got her some knee braces. Somebody always has knee problems coming down a mountain when we hike. So I told her, I said, this is your last big hike if we struggle today, but I don't want her to hurt her knees. But anyway, we're going to get started here just as soon as they open the gate. We are the 6th in line, so hopefully we can get to the trailhead pretty quick. All right, so stay with us, and we're going to be showing you a lot of pretty scenery today, hopefully. Okay, we've made it to the trailhead, so we are here getting ready to go up the Gregory Ridge Trail to the top of Gregory Bald. Now, the reason we're doing Gregory Bald this weekend, 3rd weekend in June, is it's known for the flame azaleas that bloom by the thousands up there. And we were here 2016. It's very beautiful. Now, one thing we do have a concern about is that they may not have fully bloomed yet, because this summer's not been a summer, has it? It's been very, very cool. We've not had really any hot weather to speak of, so some people are speculating the blooms might be a little late this year. So I have seen some pictures. There are some out, but I don't know it's going to be as spectacular as it was last time we were here. Usually 3rd week of June is right on for the azaleas to bloom up there, but we're going to see. Hopefully there will be some nice color. It's a hard hike for there not to be. But we're going to go on up today. As you can see behind, we've got 5.5 miles to the summit. And so it's an 11-mile round trip hike. It's a tough hike, but we're going to do it. We ready?
We're ready.
All right, let's do it.
See what time it is.
Yeah, let's see what time it is.
6:52.
6:52. So we're going to be on the trail hopefully by 7. We got to get a few things out of the van here. So we'll let you know how long it takes us to go up. Hopefully it'll be a lot quicker coming down. So go with us on the hike. So we're going to take this part for 4.9 miles until we get to the Gregory Bald Trail. We'll intersect that, and that's when it really gets steep for just a short bit. That's probably the steepest part of the trail once you hit that junction. But it doesn't last long, thankfully. But it's just a steep trail pretty much all the way up. So first little bits is nice and level. But I think we gain an elevation of about 3,100 feet from where we are now to the top. Gregory Bald is 4,949 feet above sea level. We're about 1,800 here, so we got a lot of climbing to do. Forecast high up there at the summit, 63 degrees today. Just hope the rain holds off. coming up to our first little footbridge. A lot of beautiful river areas on the way up. Not all the way, but the first part of the trail. And Shaughnessy is going to make her way across the footbridge, hopefully without falling. It rocks, I like that. And she made it. Okay, continuing on the trail, it's still pretty moderately easy and level at this point. Still got a lot of climbing to do, but the first part of the trail is pretty easy. If you don't want to do the whole trip to the summit, you just want to have a nice relaxing walk through the woods, this is a good option. There's a lot of places along the river. You can still hear the river. Some rhododendron bushes here. Not in bloom yet, but or maybe they've already bloomed, I don't know. But very nice trail so far. We've come to another footbridge. I'm estimating we're about 2 miles in on the hike. Should be coming to the backcountry campsite. I don't know what number it is, but there is one on this trail. I want to say it's at 2.4 miles, so once we get to that, I'll know about how far in we've come. Okay, we are now at backcountry campsite number 12. I want to say, I think this is 2.4 miles in. So we are about halfway to the junction of Gregory Bald Trail, which is 4.9 from the parking lot, then the final 0.6 ascent to the summit. But you can see now over here they got the where you hang your food and stuff up out of the reach of bears. That's what that's for. You suspend it off the ground where the bear can't get to it, either by jumping or climbing a tree. But this is backcountry campsite number 12. And the map I've got, I don't know if it's been changed since then, but it says this is non-reservation. So I'm guessing that means you don't have to reserve it unless that's changed. I thought you had to reserve all the backcountry campsites.
I think you have to get a permit.
Yeah, you got to get a permit. You got to get a permit for anything. By the way, while we're on permits, this is the first time we've had to buy the parking permit since they instituted that in March, because we've driven through. But anytime you're parked in any area in the Smokies for more than 15 minutes, with the exception of your campsite, if you're camping, you have to have a parking permit. So this is the first time we've had to buy one. It's $5 a day, $40 a year, and I want to say there's another one you can get maybe a week. But anyway, since we drive all three of our vehicles up here, it did not make sense for us to get the yearly parking pass, because you can't transfer the pass. You have to have your license plate written down. It's vehicle specific. So we just figured we would buy day passes whenever we come, because we don't ever know what vehicle we're going to bring until we go. So I saw this tree and I thought that was very interesting. I've seen trees with those knots on them like that, but I don't think I've ever seen so many. want y'all to look at that. I mean, they pretty much go up as high as I can see. I don't know what causes that. I don't know if that's a disease of some sort or a deformity. I've seen trees with one or two, but I don't think I've ever seen anything like that. Okay, we continue to climb past the campsite and we're getting to our first open views of the trail, probably about 3 miles in. Starting to open up a little bit. So how are you doing?
A little out of breath. I'm sweaty.
Yeah, well, we're not in any hurry, so we can catch our breath and get our second wind and go on. But we're probably a little over halfway up. And what time is it? We officially got on the trail at 6:57.
8:27.
So, all right, so exactly an hour and a half. We've been going about an hour and a half now, exactly. The trail is going to intensify from here. So, let me give you a look at it now. It is starting to actually intensify already. Kind of hard to tell on a camera how steep a trail is, but we are steadily climbing. The first part of the trail was actually some downhill areas, a lot of level area, but now it is starting to make the ascent up Gregory Bald. Okay, back in the shade now, which is much more pleasant, but just looking back at the sunlit path that we just came through, that's kind of pretty. Nothing but birds and the soothing sound of my voice on this video. I think the birds probably are a little more soothing. There's another tree with a knot, but see, that one ain't got but one. That one back there at the campsite, I've never seen that many.
Yeah, I know.
Alright, waiting on the older folk here to catch up. Somebody got bee stung a few minutes ago, right on the leg.
No matter how careful I am.
You remember on a Table Rock hike she fell and hurt her ankle. So
And this thing's in my
she's being careful today, and a bee decided he was going to mess that up. So let's see if we can see it.
You see the redness?
I don't really see the bite mark now.
No,
I did a little bit ago. So we're continuing to climb. The trail is very narrow. Not too bad, pretty good amount of roots. I've been on a lot worse. So, not really sure how far we are in, but we're on a steady ascent now. And again, we have to gain about 3,100 feet of elevation from the trailhead. So, like I've said before, the only way to complete a hike is keep putting one foot in front of the other till you get there. This is my third time doing this. Now, here, let me hold the camera on me for a minute. I first did this hike back in 2010 with my dad and our son. Now, my dad, he was 66 when he did the hike. He'll be 80 this September. He did the whole thing without stopping. I couldn't do that. I was out of shape then. And my dad actually made it to the top. And we met him probably a third of the way back down. He had already been to the top. My son and I were still making it up. My son could have done it too. He was waiting on me. Yeah, I remember my dad asked me if my backpack was getting heavy. I said, yeah, it was. He says, well, I'll go back up with you. My dad carried the backpack on his back up to the top. And I felt, you know how about feeling like a wimp when your 66-year-old dad can do that? So we did this hike again, your first time, my second time in 2016. That was actually 7 years ago today, because I think it was the 16th, and this is the 16th. So we did the hike then, and you ask her, I about had a meltdown, because it was not like I was telling her, okay, I remember this spot, we're almost there, and we wasn't almost there. And I finally thought somebody's done brought the trail stretcher out. You know, this thing's a lot longer than it used to be. And you ask her, every time we'd round a curve, and I think we was almost at the junction, it'd just be another long ascent up. And I think I was about in tears at one point.
Yeah.
I'm not like that today. I feel better today than I did 7 years ago, and certainly better than I did 13 years ago when I did it. And I told her today, hiking is psychological. If you're expecting that you're going to get there at a certain time, and it's not like you remember it being, it gets frustrating when the trail just seems to go on and on. So I told her, I said, I'm not even going to expect to be at the junction for 4 hours after we leave. That way, I've got it in my mind, it's going to take 4 hours. If it don't take 4 hours, we got there sooner than expected. And I don't think it's going to take 4 hours. I'd say we're at least 3.5 to 4 miles in. The junction is 4.9, so, you know, I look for us to be there not too much longer, but still got some climbing to do. Are you ready?
Yeah, I'm just taking it slow and easy.
I'm going to have to carry her on my shoulders, looks like, before it's over with.
No, I'm just, like I said, slow and easy.
Yeah, usually her problem's on the way down, but I hear a woodpecker. Did you hear that? I love the sounds of nature, but there's the trail we just came up from. I don't think the video actually shows how steep it is, but this is
it usually doesn't.
This trail's rated 17 point something on the it is a strenuous category. You know, trails are usually easy, moderate, and strenuous. And this is well into the strenuous range. It's not the steepest in the Smokies, but it's up there. Okay, we got our first azalea bloom. Now, that's why we're doing this hike, is to see the flame azaleas at the top. That's what Gregory Bald is famous for, but this is the first one we've seen on the way up. So, I guess you would call that maybe a peach color.
Yeah.
Or maybe like a coral even.
Yeah, probably more coral looking.
Very pretty. Got a little mouse right here. He just went in that little hole. Don't know if y'all saw him or not. Yeah, he went in that little hole in that tree. So, we have stopped again. I was going to wait till I got up to the junction with Gregory Bald Trail to drink my drink, but can't seem to wait. So, body armor, blackout berry. I love that flavor. I already had one body armor. That was a coconut. I didn't care for that one too much, but I know I like this one. So we're going to chug this down, 28 ounces. That'll put some electrolytes back in my body. So, 'cause I'm sweating like a horse right now. Okay, the long-awaited Ford Junction is here. And the reason we're looking forward to this junction is that we know how far we've come, which is 4.9 miles, and we know how far we've got to go, which is 0.6. So this is where Gregory Ridge Trail intersects with the Gregory Bald Trail. So once you reach this junction, if you want to go to the Appalachian Trail, you'll turn left, and that's 2.1 miles from here. Or if you're going on to Gregory Bald, that's 0.6. And I'm going to go ahead and tell you now, I remember this from last time, the steepest part of the trail is right here. It's short-lived, but this is probably the steepest grade that we're going to have. So, how do you feel that we have come to the junction?
Relieved.
Now, what's that thing you wear on your wrist? Is Fitbit?
Yeah.
Okay, I call it the nitwit because it's never right. We know for a fact we've come 4.9 miles. Now, this thing lies. If you listen to this thing, it'll discourage you and you'll quit. How far does it say we've come?
2.69.
2.69. It was 2.55 what a mile back. So
yeah.
It's telling us since we left the parking lot we've come 2.69 miles. We've almost doubled that.
It's
so
old. It's never worked.
If you buy one of those and you think it's going to tell you how accurately or how far you've come accurately, you might as well throw it in the weeds.
Yeah.
It's not worth anything. It's a watch. That's what we're using it for, is a watch. What time is it?
10:25.
Okay, so we started 6:57. So 3 hours and 28 minutes. You said 25, 10:25? Okay, yeah. So 3 hours and 27 minutes. We allotted 4 hours.
To this point?
Yeah, to this point.
Okay.
That's what I was saying to the junction. Last time I got so discouraged because it just seems like it's endless straightaways that are straight uphill. And I said, I'm going to overestimate it. So 3 hours, 27 minutes it took us. Start 3 hours 28 minutes because we started at 6:57. So anyway, we still have 0.6 to go to the summit. We did meet a lady coming down. She said that the blooms are a little bit early, or a little bit premature, that there's still more to come, but there's still a lot of nice ones. So that was good to know. This is a lot of effort to not see azaleas.
Exactly, yeah.
How do you feel so far?
Very tired.
Okay. It's a tiring hike, but we'll say more about it when we get to the top. Okay, folks, we have made it. We're getting ready to come into the clearing now. I'm seeing just a few azaleas. We've talked to a few people who were on their way back down, and they said that it is not at peak yet because, again, the weather's just not been hot. It's been a very cool spring and summer, so it's delayed the blooms, but there's still plenty of them, they said. One guy just told us, he said he's not seeing the pinks that's usually up here so much, the pink and yellow, but he's seeing a lot of red and a lot of different shades of the orange, which the orange and the coral was my favorite color of them anyway, so I'm happy. So we are here, we're getting ready to come into the clearing now, and I'm going to show you some spectacular views here in just a moment, and then we'll talk about our trip up here. Okay, now as you can see, we got a little path going between the azalea bushes here. And everybody's right, they have not peaked just yet, but seeing some color. Here's a nice red color. It's a long way to walk to see flowers, ain't it? That would be, I guess, maybe like a coral, like a deep coral color there, wouldn't you say? I think that's probably my favorite color of the azaleas right there. Interesting right here, got blueberry bush mixed in with the azaleas. I think blueberries and azalea bushes are related to each other. I know they're both require an acid soil, but little blueberries forming there. Which those blueberries provide food for the bear. Once they mature, the bears come up here and eat them. So if you want to see a bear, that would probably be a good time to come when the blueberries. I'm not walking all this way to see blueberries. Azaleas, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah, another 4 or 5 days would have been better, to be honest with you. I know some people were up here on the 12th and they said there was hardly anything at the top, so just the 4 days, this is the 16th, has made a difference. But another couple of days would have been better. Last time we were here in 2016, about the same time, same weekend, third weekend of June, all of these were in full bloom. It was just almost like a fairy tale almost, if that makes sense. It was so colorful, just like some path in a fairy tale with flowers and blooms all through it. But it's still got a little ways to go this time. Oh, it feels delightful up here. That breeze, I tell you, nice cooling breeze. Temperature's probably about maybe 60 degrees.
Yeah, that's good.
And that's the mountain range that you see when you're driving the loop of Cades Cove, the second half looking back to the west. So. Okay, now what you're looking at there, if you see way down in the valley, the nice green grassy area, that is Cades Cove. There are people driving through that now as we speak. Taking off into the Tennessee Valley up towards Maryville area. Back towards Knoxville. And back down into Cades Cove again. What a great place to just spread a blanket and have lunch and just relax. Which is what we're fixing to do here in a little bit. So what do you think?
I'm glad we're finally here.
Okay, I was thinking along the lines of it's very beautiful or it's
Oh
very
yeah,
pretty.
well yeah.
Or something like that.
Sorry, yeah it is.
She gets like that when she's tired. Okay, the guy was right. There have not been a lot of pinks up here, but here is one with a little bit of a pinkish, maybe even peach color in some areas. Now, if you're ever riding through Cades Cove, you can see Gregory Bald very prominently in the first half of the loop. You don't see it at all in the second half, but when you first enter into the loop until just before the visitor center, you can see Gregory Bald. It's the predominant mountain that you'll be looking at to the far right of the mountain range. And if you got a really sharp eye, you can actually see this grassy open area that we're standing on right now. You can see this from Cades Cove. And Shaughnessy is tired. Okay. Are we not going to explore the summit just a little bit?
I'm ready to rest.
Well, I'm not. So, yeah, I noticed that. That's why I was asking if you was going to. I'm going to go up to the top and see if I can find a geological marker.
Oh, take a picture with your phone for me.
Huh?
Make sure and take a picture with your phone for me.
Of what?
The geological marker.
How about you take a picture with your phone?
I don't feel like getting up.
Are you okay? Okay, here's the view from the other side looking to the south. I was trying to spot Brasstown Bald, which is the highest point in the state of Georgia. I am not seeing it. I know you can see it from Clingman's Dome, but it has to be a pretty clear day without haze, and you can also see Clingman's Dome and Gregory Bald from Brasstown Bald, so I was thinking I could see it from up here. It may just be a little too hazy, or maybe I just haven't spotted it yet. But I am not seeing it. It's very recognizable. Geological Survey marker. Most mountains have one of these. We are 4,949 feet above sea level. Don't know how good that's coming in, but that's what it says, and that's what this mountain is. Certainly not the highest peak in the Smokies by any means, but a lot of area up here. Great place to relax.
And Derek worked up just a little bit of a sweat coming up here. His back's
Just
pretty
a little
wet.
bit, yeah, it feels soaked.
Yeah, it's pretty wet.
Now that my body temperature is going down a little bit, this wind's actually a little bit chilly.
Yeah, cooling it down a bit.
Well, what a view. This is a little bit of a trade-off, because if you come in the summer to see the azaleas, you're coming when there's haze. This would be an amazing view if like in October when there's no haze or anything. You could see probably into Knoxville from here.
Oh yeah.
I can still see out into Maryville in that area, but Cades Cove, you can see that pretty much any time. But
It's nice.
yeah. Alright, so you can still see Shaughnessy's bee sting just a little bit. A little red dot, not too bad. What a beautiful view though. Looking back down into the cove, which is one of my favorite places on the planet anyway to be. Looking forward to our camping trip there. By the way, we do have a video of our camping trip last year when we still could record in the national park and monetize. We're recording this, we're uploading this, we're just not going to monetize this video, but last year's camping video was before the thing went into effect, so we're okay with that one. And a lot of people still watch that video. That's been one of our top videos, actually. Didn't know it would be. We did several ride-throughs, showed several bears. We recorded some of our campground. One of my favorite vacations of the year, to be honest with you. Alright, I hope y'all can hear us over the wind. We're still here on Gregory Bald. What time is it? 3:22.
No, that wasn't it.
Oh, I'm sorry. What is
1:23. 3:22 is supposedly only how far we came.
Yeah, we've come 5.5 miles. So it's 1:23. So
Yes.
we've been up here. What time did we say we got here? 10:56 exactly, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So we've been up here a little over 2 hours, almost 2.5 hours. So we want to give you our thoughts about the hike up here. I'll let you go first, like I always do when we do a restaurant review.
Well, it was hard on me. It was hard on me, I will say that. I've got these new knee braces that they have hinges on the sides. They were pretty expensive, but a lot of people said that, you know, they could hike in them, so I got them. But they also weigh your legs down and
they're heavy
and restrict your range of motion. So my hips really started bothering me the last little bit, but thankfully I didn't twist my ankle coming up. I was very careful about that.
We're not down yet.
Well, so far. But I was super tired. When we got here, I kept telling him, I can't wait to just sit down and lay down and just take a nap. And
she did. She took a nap.
I took several off and on, and then yeah, I lay down pretty much immediately. But yeah, it was pretty hard on me. just the constant incline. But I will say the trail isn't as rocky and as much roots as I remember. The last little bit there was.
It's got some, but it's not as bad as other ones we've done.
Right. So hopefully that'll be a little easier going down. Hopefully these knee braces are supposed to help with the going down, and I got my little trekking poles. But up here, I mean, the azaleas they're not peaking, but there are still a lot of blooms, so it's very pretty. It's
another 3 or 4 days.
Yeah.
It's delayed a little bit because of the cool temperatures this year. Even right now, when the sun's out, it's comfortable. When it goes behind the cloud, the wind, it might freeze to death.
Yeah.
It's cool up here. But with the sun out, it feels good.
Yeah, the sun, yeah. But and they've kind of done some mowing and some trimming and stuff like that. So it's pretty. I'm glad we came, and looking down into the cove, we got a nice little spot where we've been laying here looking straight down.
Looking right down at Cades Cove right now.
Yeah. So I mean, it's been a good hike. I'm glad I did it. I feel better. I told him, you know, once I've rested a little bit now, I feel a little bit better. But hopefully it won't be bad going down.
We're just hoping that you don't struggle. You tend to struggle more going down, whereas I don't struggle going down because I don't have the knee issue that you've got. So we're really hoping that we can get down in a lot less time than we went up, so we don't know yet. But you struggled coming up, so I am a little concerned. But you know, we'll get down when we get down. I'm hoping in about 2.5 or 3 hours we can make it down. What I was going to say is, were you done?
Yeah.
Okay. We got up here at 10:56 exactly. That's when we got onto the summit. We left 6:57 exactly from the trailhead. So we were 1 minute shy of 4 hours, and that's with us stopping to record some and make this video. We could have done it a little quicker, and with just, you know, the routine rest stops and things like that, and stopping for a drink. So it's very important that you stay hydrated if you're going to do a hike. Now, my thoughts on this hike is this is a strenuous hike. There's no way around it. This is the only trail, all 3 times we've done it. We've done the Gregory Ridge Trail from Cades Cove up here. There is at least one more. You can come from up the Gregory Bald Trail. You can go from 20 Mile Junction too. Just the name 20 Mile just doesn't sit well with me. But there's other ways to get up here. If I were ever going to do this hike, it would be for the azaleas. A little disappointed they're not at peak, but there's still plenty of color. Very open area up here. Not that many people. We probably saw maybe 20 other people up here. You know, it is kind of something when you're trying to take a nap, and it's a very open area. There's plenty of space for everybody to have their own acreage. You know, people, when you're napping, people want to come stand right at your feet and talk and converse and laugh. I don't understand that. That happened last time. Last time we was up here, 2 people were on horses, and they stood right where we were at. The horses are going, you know how horses do. And it's like, there's a lot of acreage up here. There's plenty of space. And anyway, we both kind of dozed off a little bit. If you're a beginner and you see these azaleas, say, I want to do that. If you're a beginner or you're not a hiker, you do not want this to be your first hike, or you'll never hike again. Just take my word for that. You want to break yourself in, do some shorter ones, more moderate hikes. This is a strenuous hike. I think it's rated a 17.21 difficulty rating, which is up there. There's only a few hikes in the Smokies that are harder than this one. And I'll be honest with you, for me personally, let me ask you this. We have done 3 of the top 5 hardest hikes in the Smokies. We have done Mount LeConte, we've done Mount Camerer, and we've done this one. You've done it twice, I've done it 3 times. We've not done Thunderhead and Rocky Top. Those are the other ones that are really supposed to be strenuous. Of the 3 we've done, what do you think is the hardest one?
I mean, of course, when you're sitting there thinking about how hard you had coming up today, I would say, oh, this one. But I don't know. I mean, today was hard on me. And I think, like I was telling him, I've not been sleeping good. And my job said it's, how do you say that word?
Sedentary.
Sedentary. And it's just kind of like, I just wasn't really prepared for this. But I remember the first time we did it, I used to run and stuff like that. I had a lot easier time. But as far as hardness, I know Mount LeConte going down, that's where I really had trouble. Camera, I remember being pretty tired at the top up there too.
I have to put this one as my hardest over both of those other 2, and those were hard. But to me, this one's it. This one, it just seems like you never get, it seems like it's just extended out. You never get to where the junction's at. It's supposed to be 4.9 miles. and it just seems like it's just endless stretches of straight uphill.
Yeah, and it's a constant up.
Yeah, first part of the trail's great. If you just want to leisurely walk through the woods, first mile, even 2.4 miles till you get to the campsite, it's not bad. You get some beautiful places along the river. If you just want to walk into the woods in the fall, you can do that. There's no rule that says you have to come all the way to the summit. But after you leave the backcountry campsite, number 12, it starts ascending. There are some level places. There's actually even a couple of downhill places. Now, once you get to that junction at 4.9 miles, you take a right to come all the way up to the summit of Gregory Bald. That is the steepest part of the trail. It's very steep, it's very short-lived, but it'll get you out of breath.
It will.
Then it levels out and becomes level for a while. It even drops down a little bit. Then there's that final ascent, which is not as bad as the first ascent. This is a tough hike. I'm not gonna lie. If you're not a hiker, you don't want to make this your first hike. If you are gonna do it, make sure don't do it in tennis shoes or sandals or anything like that. You want some good boots with some support. I recommend hiking poles. I never used hiking poles till Mount Cameron in 2021. She finally told me, says you need to get some hiking poles, so I did. And they do make a difference. I never used them before. I was always like, I don't need no pole, but Mount Cameron, I needed a pole. This one, I would definitely recommend hiking poles. Beautiful hike.
Yeah.
Beautiful view when you get up here. You can look back at Cades Cove, the Smoky Mountains that way, and then back behind you're looking down towards Georgia. I was unable to identify Brasstown Bald. I'm very disappointed.
He was really wanting to see that.
Yeah, because that's in another state, so I could not find it. It's too hazy. I think I did see a couple mountains out in the distance I thought might be, but just the haze, I couldn't make it out. It's that far away. But if it was a clear day, I think I could have spotted it, because I know you can see this from there. So anyway, it's a good hike. I don't know that I'm going to do it again anytime soon. It's tough.
It is tough.
So we're going to hike back down to the trailhead, then we're going to go back to the room and clean up, and we're going to go to the trailhead. It just seems like that would be a great place to eat. We are going to the Trailhead Steakhouse in Townsend. We've been there once before, never done a review. Today's the day. We're going to do a review there. But after you've been on the trail all day, you started a trailhead, you end up at a trailhead, where else do you eat besides the trailhead?
And it seems like after you've done a hard hike like this, when you get a good meal, it's so good.
Yeah, I can taste that ribeye steak now, and I'm going to try an appetizer that they got on the menu. Saw J&B in the Hills get this appetizer. It was a shrimp. It's like a spicy shrimp. I don't remember exactly, but I saw it on the menu yesterday. It was supposed to be a shrimp with some spiciness to it. So that looked really good. I'm going to try that as an appetizer. And this is my birthday gift. The meal's on her tonight. So I'm going to get the most expensive thing I can find on the menu.
I'm not going to
do that. But we are going to go for a good steak tonight.
Yes,
so we will do a separate review. Check out a review of the Trailhead Steak and Trout House in Townsend. We're looking forward to it. So folks, that's all for this video. We're going to hit the trail. We're probably not going to record going down unless she falls or something, or we see a bear, then I'll record.
If something major and you guys would probably want to see or know about it.
If we see a nice copperhead or something, we'll record that. Otherwise, this is our closeout. Thank y'all so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, like and subscribe. And
find and follow us on Facebook.
All right, have a blessed day. And look here what we have spotted. Just happened to look over to the left, and there he was watching me. Not a very big bear. We are probably 150 feet from him. Maybe even more. He's going up the hill. Now, two things here. We are on a trail in the wild, and we come across a wild animal. Now, he didn't act aggressive towards us. All he wanted was to be left alone. And notice we didn't get stupid and try to approach him. So no problems. He's going his way and we're going to go ours as soon as he's gone. That's pretty cool. There's always a question when you're hiking, you know, you're not alone on the trail and who has the right of way. Well, he does. So, of course, he's nowhere near the trail. He's actually making his way up the hill now. But that was pretty neat to be able to see that. So we got to include that in the video. I know we did our closeout.
I wonder if that's the same one.
I bet it is, because they said it was not long on the trail and they said it wasn't very big. And so this one's been hanging around the area. We actually, what she's referring to, after we started our hike this morning, there were some people maybe 20 minutes behind us, 15 minutes behind us, said they had seen a bear near the parking lot. So that's probably the same one. We just didn't see him this morning, but